Welcome to our presentation on game theory. We are going to show you how the cast of Friends negotiated their salary through game theory. We are Anne-Sophie, Mary, and Alan. First, we're going to show you a brief overview of exactly what Friends is. We're going to show the problem through Kuhn's tree, show a chart presentation, and a solution. Friends was a hugely popular television sitcom. It aired for 236 episodes, 10 seasons. It was created by Marta Kaufman and David Crane. It had an average of 26 million viewers per week, and at its max, it had 52.9 million viewers, or 46% of the market share. So needless to say, it generated huge revenues through advertising. It was aired on NBC, and NBC was created in 1941. As of today, it's rated as the third network in the U.S. However, when Friends was on it, because of its high rating, it used to be number one. When Friends started to negotiate their contract, they were each making $120,000 each per episode. So here is the tree, and we're going to show you how they worked. So when their contract was up, the actors could either ask for an increase or not to ask. And if they asked, the actors were the losers and the studio were the winners. Now the studio could either say, yes, we're going to give you an increase, or no, we're not going to give you an increase. So if they said no, then the actors were the losers and the studio were the losers, because if they said no, the casted Friends, all of them, because they negotiated collectively, were going to leave. So the studio yields. And so then the actors are the winners and the studios are the losers. And if the actors decide not to ask for a big salary, then the actors are the losers and the studios are the winners. So the actors decide to ask for a huge salary. Now the studio can either say, no, we're not going to give you that salary, in which case, as I said before, they negotiated collectively, so they were going to leave, and in which case both of them would be the losers. Or they could say, yes, we're going to give you that big salary, and then the actors are the winners and the studios are somewhat the losers because they still get their advertising revenue, but they have to pay more for their product. So here's the chart. So we decided that we would say either the actors are going to just say this is what they want, so this is the don't negotiate, negotiate, or accept. Well, we thought that neither one of them would go there, so they're both going to negotiate, and if the actors don't negotiate and the studio accepts, you can see that it gives them a big number and the studio a less number. If the actors accept the studio's offer and the studio accepts, it's like even. And if they both decide to negotiate, it's even as well. And if the actors decide that they're not going to negotiate and the studio negotiates, it gives them a 7 and a 2. So you could see where this is the actors' primary area to be, because they know that if the studio doesn't give them what they want, that they're going to leave, and that gives them a 10 in that box. Now, if, say, the actors decide that only 3 were going to stay, then they lose their leverage. So then their numbers come down because the studio still has 3 friends with which to make a show. And you can see if the actors decide to don't negotiate, and the studio decides to accept that non-negotiation salary, then it's like a 5-5. It's a split. It's an even. And we decided in this one too that they would either, that they both would don't negotiate, and then there would be a don't negotiate and a negotiate here. But it becomes more even all throughout the chart if only 3 decide to stay. And in the end, friends negotiated from 120,000 per episode each to $1 million per episode each. Questions?